my best memories is we'll be doing a drill or something, and Pat would come up, and can't nobody jam like Pat. So he'd come up and he'd be like, he'd play with everybody. Then every time he'd get to me, he let out a big old fart. You know what I mean? Just like, oh my God.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Showroom. Gavin McGrath here. Been really looking forward to this episode. It's with my man, Everett Brown IV, a good friend, amazing father, husband, uncle, co-worker, teammate, leader, coach. This dude is it all, and I'm just really glad you're spending the time to sit down with us, man. So welcome.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
How long you been with us now?
13 years. 13 years.
What was your actual hire? Do you remember your anniversary?
February 11, 2012.
It's coming up. We got to throw a party.
Black History Month, baby.
Yeah, awesome. And you started, so walk through your work here, and then we'll go back to your life too. But you started at the Marion store, I think, didn't you?
Yep. Started in 2012 at the Marion store when it was Marion Used Car Superstore. Now has a new name. But I started back then with managers. It was Jim Odley and Jeremy Sparks.
Jimmy Odley, yeah.
Yes. So it was super fun, and I was eager to get in the job world, and didn't get nothing with my degree. So I saw Pat's newspaper article, and I was like, Pat McGrath. I didn't even know he had his own dealership, which was weird, I know. Played 4 years of football with him, but didn't even know.
Is that right?
Yep. And then when I saw that newspaper article, I'm like, Pat, I might as well apply for here. I can't get a job nowhere else. So I went out there and I applied, and thank God they took me in. I appreciate you.
13 years later, and just wrapped up number one salesperson here on the GM campus. 209.5 deliveries, I believe is what it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and the top 5 overall, all salespeople, over 130 salespeople across the entire company. You've consistently been the top performer. What drives you, man? You're such a driven person. You're always working. You're always competing, whether it's at work or at home, to be a good father. What drives you?
Correct. I think the main thing that drives me is I try to find stuff that makes me click inside of me besides just like certain motivators or certain people in life. To me, I feel like nobody should take not one day for granted, because we don't know when we getting up out of here. You ain't never promised tomorrow. And I see a lot of people that wake up, even for instance, when I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I hit the gym. You got some people that might smile, some people that don't smile. And it's like, you did not have to come work out this morning. You could have stayed at home, sleep, but yet you chose to get up. So since you're here, let's make the most of this moment. I don't care what it is, work. And being that I go to the gym every morning, I get so many car deals from the gym.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to buy a car. So they'll see me at the gym like, hey, Everett, thanks for helping me with that set. By the way, I need to come in and buy a truck today. Man, I'll see you there in 20 minutes. But just having that open attitude, because I don't be knowing that they're going to come buy a car.
Yeah.
So just leading with good energy, it comes out. So I appreciate it.
You've been on a fitness journey for a while. I mean, from your peak weight to now, how much have you lost, and tell us about your workout plan and what you do every day.
So when I first started, I was 326 pounds.
You were 326?
326, yes.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I looked at that scale and cried. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I couldn't believe it my dang gonna say. But yeah, I looked at that scale and I stood on there and I was like, woo, 326. I remember when I was just 206, in high school.
Yeah.
So I had to divert back to my good ways. And a big key factor in that was my dad passing away. I used to always tell him, he was in prison my whole life, so when I did play sports, I keep him filled in. He'd be like, you working out still? I'd be like, yeah, I'm still working out. But I wasn't really working out. I wasn't eating right. It was just all over the place. So when he passed away in 2014, I made the commitment because he could see me every day now, at least we think,
Yeah.
And so I just stepped to it and didn't look back. Jumped into the gym, found my way to do a little cardio here and there, but still do the weights, but yet not too much of a heavy weight because I knew I had a lot of fat to get rid of.
Yeah.
So I just did a lot of light rate, high reps, and it worked.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it.
No, and you've helped youth as well.
Correct.
I mean, for a while you're having kids come over, work out with you, and I still think you do some training with kids.
Yep.
Tell us about what you do there.
So when I was in high school, of course, I always like to connect myself with these situations, so therefore I go in with my all and just don't look back, because you're going to be working out with a lot of random kids. And in this society, I think everybody should think of all kids as their kids. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you're going to come into a kid's life, don't halfway do it. Don't do it because you got to do it. Do it because you want to do it, and treat them like they're your kids. So I'd wake up at 5 in the morning is when mothers didn't work or fathers didn't work or whatever, and they could bring the kids with no excuses. So we wake up at 5 in the morning and do workouts in my kitchen. I wake up my own kids, so my other half wasn't too happy about it, but she smiled with the grace of God, and she put up with it. So I thank God for Caitlin in multiple ways. But yes, we work out in the kitchen. We make all kind of noise. You know, kids can't be quiet for nothing. So we just have a lot of energy. We do burpees, we do squats, sit-ups, whatever we can do without weights, of course. We knocked it out. So they were a big help in me losing my weight as well. You know what I'm saying? So the kids always
drove
was
you.
like,
You're like, I got to get up for these kids.
100%. And they'd think, oh, thanks for helping me. I'm like, yeah, I'll help y'all, but you don't know. Y'all helping me way more than I'm helping you. So I'll sacrifice this hour with no problem. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. You have 4 of your own, and then a 5th one coming, April 11th.
April 10th.
10th?
Yep.
Is the due date. Tell us about your
So,
kids.
I got 4 great kids. My oldest is 12. Her name is Aubrey. She loves basketball. Hooper. Yes, sir.
Yep, future Cougar, right? She's going to Kennedy.
She's going to Kennedy, yep. Sorry for all you Warriorettes out there. I still love y'all to death. But, yeah, she's going to be in Kennedy. She's great at defense, rebounding, putting that ball back up, offensive rebounding. She does it all. And ain't nobody beating her to a spot. So it's nice to see that in her. And then I also have an 8-year-old. Her name's Everett. She just started basketball. She actually plays on Anthony Hobson's
She plays
team.
on Hobson, yeah, my niece's team. Yep.
Her and Sammy getting down. She's aggressive. She gets all kind of steals, and she's going to shoot until Anthony tell her not to. So that's good. You know, nowadays you got to make your kids shoot, not her. And then I also have a 7-year-old boy, and that's little Everett.
Yep.
So I'm Everett and Brown IV. He's Everett and Brown V, and you can't tell him there's nothing else cooler in the world than that. So I appreciate that. And then that right there within itself, my dad was locked up in prison my whole life. So having 2 Everetts in the house is a first time for me. So again, just like the other kids teaching me something, my son is teaching me a lot about that daddy-son relationship. And, you know, I'm getting better at it every day. My other half always remind me about the small things when it comes to kids, and thank God for him blessing me with her to make it easier as well. And then I have a little Bash. He's almost 2. He'll be 2 April 4th. So 6 days before the new one
already
gets here.
2? Wow.
Yeah, flew by. He's full of energy. That little thing don't sit around. He's going to be a hooper. He already dribbles and shoots on the little toys at home. Yeah. So we're in the game. Yep.
Perfect fitting name, Bash.
Yeah. Okay. He's bashing everything for sure. And then we have the new one.
Yep. And you don't know the sex, do you yet?
We do. Unfortunately, she wanted to not find out until the baby was here.
Okay.
But she decided to do the gen testing again. I told her we ain't need that. All of them healthy before. Let's just take our chances. She took the test, and then they surprised her with gender right on the test.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, so she cried.
They blew it?
Yep, she cried a little bit, but I made her feel good, and we okay. So we'll be a girl. Yep.
Good for you.
Yes, I'm excited. 3 girls, 2 boys. Y'all pray for me.
You're doing a great job, man. It's an amazing life you built. And let's go back in time. Let's talk about your life growing up. Where were you born, raised? Obviously, we have a connection with the Wash. You graduated with Griffin. Were you Griffin's class?
Yes, Griffin.
07?
06.
06. Yep. 2 years younger, yeah.
Griffin and Jamie.
And Jamie,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
That was Pocky O'Mara class.
Yeah.
Will Seuss.
Yep. Stacy Walker.
Yeah.
And
great group.
Yeah, the group you just named, they kept me well-rounded. I say all of them did. From Will, Pocky, right to Stacy. Stacy probably had it the hardest, but Will, I don't know if you ever knew it, but Will used to pick me up every morning my freshman year in high school, and I'd ride with him because I stayed in Marion.
Oh.
My mom was a felon, so it was tough for her to get houses and stuff everywhere. We stayed right on top of the Bay right when we first moved here.
Is that where you live?
Oh, hell yeah. The smallest apartment I ever lived in my life, but it was nice, though. Me and my sister used to throw stuff over the walls from room to room. Catch this, it's coming. Yeah, and we made it happen. But yeah, so my life kind of originated in Alton, Illinois, right by East St. Louis. My mom was a single mother, of course, because my dad was in prison my whole life. And we had it a little tough. I had 2 older sisters, but we made the most of it. She didn't really ever have like a solid job, so I kind of blame that on my pops from keeping her so sheltered throughout her life, and he did everything on his own. So I wouldn't say blame it on him because he still took care of her, but we grew up in a single mother household, and so everything was tough. There was multiple times we were homeless. Every once in a while we went through the phase where somebody might have been doing some things that they didn't need to do as far as our parents, you know. So it was tough keeping that positive drive. But one thing that me and my sister never did was we never outraged at our mom, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though she went through the things she did, we kept the love there because we also figured that if you ain't showing them the love, then they're going to either spiral to a worse point, you know, could be death or whatever the case. So you better be happy she's here and hug her every time she come in the house and don't ever forget about that love. And I don't care what she was going through or what was going on. If someone came over to our house, as far as treating other kids, you know, like they're yours, she treated them better than us at times, you know. And so they always wanted to come over, which was cool because it made us be in better environments as well.
Why don't I get the candy like they're getting? What's
you know
up
what I'm
with that?
saying?
You're telling me no.
Yeah. Like, why we don't get that? Boy, you got everything. Yeah, so you say. So yes, 100%.
So in Alton, you were in Alton, and then when did you move to Cedar Rapids, or was there?
So my dad was in prison my whole life, and then coincidentally, my mother ended up going to prison for a couple of years. So therefore, I stayed with my auntie. My sister kind of went off and stayed with one of our cousins that took care of her, and I had to go to school. Well, during the whole time that my mom went to jail, we was in the process of moving. So our house got confiscated, storage got confiscated. So I was literally stuck in one outfit. I remember this outfit like it was yesterday.
Well, how old were you at this point?
I was 6th grade.
Okay.
6th grade, North Middle School.
Very influential part of your life.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You know, that's when you becoming a person, you know. You want to try every sport. I wore the same shoes for football, basketball, and track. Had holes in the bottom of them. But I tell you what, I was out there trying to run over somebody. We made it work. And I had a pair of blue jeans and a T-shirt, or blue jean shorts and a T-shirt. And I wore that every day to school. So can you imagine being in middle school with the same outfit, white T-shirt that ain't so white no more, you know? Every day you have someone say, oh, what you got on? What you got on? You need to take that off. And, you know, it was tough. And I'd give them about, 5 minutes to leave me alone. And if they didn't quit talking about it, then, got into a little physical altercation. So I had to fight my way out of that hole, right? And all the teachers would be like, man, this Everett, he's a great kid. He does great in the classroom, but it's always something that ticks at him. And thank God I had a teacher. Everything happens for a reason. I had a teacher that lived up the street from me, and so she kind of explained to the school what I was going through, and they kind of was a little lenient with me, and they let me get away with those things because I made straight A's and respected my elders and didn't show no signs of the badness. So
right.
Thank God for that. But yeah.
This was in Alton.
This was in Alton, yep. So it was a struggle going through middle school, and I had to take care of me and my sister during those moments. But once my mom got out of prison, 2 years, we moved to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I gotta say, it was one of the best things I ever did, and the best things that she ever did for us growing up.
What was the tie to Cedar Rapids?
The tie, coincidentally, we had an auntie that lived here, Kimberly Longstreet. She lived here, and she always told my mom, you need to come try something different, get out of old Alton, find something different. So she made her way up here, and we've been here ever since, pretty much.
And that was what year did you move here?
I moved
like
here.
8th grade year?
Freshman year, 2002. Graduated high school in 2006, and it was 2002 when we moved here.
So you moved here in 2002. Was that your first place was Made Right?
First place was the Made Right.
Was it?
In Murphy Square.
By the way, I think they just closed that. I think it was like one of the
did.
last standing. They closed that. Dang
Felt like they took my home. Yes.
All right, so who were some of the first influential people in Cedar Rapids for you that you looked at? I mean, just hearing you tell what you're talking about,
yes.
You are, I don't know if anomaly is the right word, but kind of.
100%.
With how the trials and tribulations you grew up with to be such a great person with a great attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Doing amazing things and having big success in life. That you mentioned that teacher, certainly still your mom and dad, obviously.
Correct.
There was good things that you took away and harnessing them, I'm sure. Who else, when you came to Cedar Rapids, who were kind of those cornerstones for you?
So my main thing was I had to find something to get involved in, just to get my mind off leaving Alton, Illinois and coming to a new place. And I think football, they introduced me to football. I had fractured my skull growing up, so I could never play sports as a
How'd you do that?
Funny story.
Was it one of those 6th grade fights?
Yeah, no, it should have been.
No.
But I jumped out.
You had the other guy.
Me and my cousins, we was in the back of a truck going to Dairy Queen one day. And we lived on this brick road, Cherry Street, and it was all bricks. And my uncle was like, y'all get on in. So we jumped in the back of the truck, me and like 3 other cousins and my sister. And we're riding. And on the way back, we all decided to jump out the truck right before we get to the house.
Oh.
Smartest idea we ever had, right? And
Jeez.
my cousin jumped, Aaron, he landed. I'll get ready to jump, and my sister, she's so tied to me, we like twins, she tried to pull me back so I don't jump, and that was the end of that. I stretched out and felt my head hit the ground. Had to be airlifted to the hospital, helicopter.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Woke up in one of those white rooms, like, Mama! You know?
So it knocked you out cold.
Oh, cold, yep, 100%.
Had to have. Oh,
Yes.
my God.
But other than that, yeah.
So then you got into football for the first time.
Got into football with Stacy Walker. He really encouraged me to jump in. Threw me all them pads and strings, and I'm like, okay, what I do with this stuff? He showed me how to put the pants together, and after that, boy, I went out there. Me and Jerry Milam, another good friend of mine.
Jerry, yeah.
Yes. And we went out there, and boy, I felt that first hit, and it was over with. Everything was there. I was like, let's do it again.
I can do this legally?
100%. We can hit these people and get away with it. So football, for me, was that time to just release that energy, again, in another positive way, you know. Growing up with a lot of knuckleheads, back in my hometown, you always had people say, oh, you're going to be just like such and such. You're going to be just like this person, you know. And most of them jail, you know, some of them dead, you know, and I just took that as motivation, you know, to not be like them. And thank God for my dad being in prison. He always stayed on the phone with me and showed me the good path versus taking the bad path. Yep, 100%. So.
And then you had, who was the freshman coach at that time?
Was it Thronson? It was Thronson. Yep,
Coach Thronson.
Coach Thronson. Awesome. Yep, Coach Thronson. And then, I forget, Faulkner.
Oh, yeah.
And Faulkner, yeah. It was real good people. They stayed on us. Thank God for that.
And then Coach James was still the varsity coach at that time.
Coach James was the varsity coach. And who else? I say Aquie Dawson.
Okay.
Aquie Dawson. She taught toward advanced placement. So she was a teacher. She used to be like a swim coach or whatever.
Yep.
But Aquie just had a good way of connecting with the kids.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yes. Stacy took that from her like to a key. And I love him for that because he made me stay on path with that once she taught us those things, and we go to class, and she always made sure we instilled the good in us, and she made us remember that. And I think we just took that with us a lot. She was very influential.
That's amazing. So she's doing good things. She's doing speaking, and I heard her speak at the it was the Women of Influence. Melissa Corkin was given an award at a banquet last month, and she spoke. She did an amazing job.
That was awesome. And I know one thing she did too during that time is, you know, homecoming king, and when we had to find a parent to walk with us down the aisle.
Yeah.
She walked with me down the aisle. So like, you know.
Did she really?
Hell yeah, she did. And it was the best feeling ever because her and my mom always had a good relationship, but you know, sometimes mom might miss a few things. And I can always count on Aquie to be there to help out. So yes, she did. She helped me out with that a lot. Yes.
After high school, graduated, what was your first step? What'd you do?
My first step was I went right to college right away because I knew if I didn't step right into that college life, I would have kind of let it fall below the base, below the waist, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And it was towards advanced placement, and then IJAG, Iowa Jobs for American Graduates.
Yep.
Julie Sneeklaw. I don't know if you knew her,
Uh-huh.
but she taught a class, and she helped me find that goal of I'm going to college and I ain't going to let nothing stop me. I didn't really have a reason as to why I was going, but I knew I wasn't going to be like everybody else, and I wanted to be that first generation to go to college in my family, and it was awesome. She helped me with my college letter, and after that, we never looked back. and I actually did an upper bound program too.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Augsburg, in Minneapolis,
Oh, yeah,
Minnesota.
that's right.
Yes. Yep, 4-year private school. 4 of the funnest years of my life.
So back to your dad, you feel his guidance through learning from his mistakes and those phone conversations, because that was probably a lot of the phone, wasn't it? 100%. How often were you talking to him, and
Man,
was it weekly or monthly, or what was he allowed?
So he had a great setup in prison, I call it. He called me whenever he wanted to throughout the day. I think he even had like a legal cell phone or something that he would call me from. But we talk we talk every day.
Every day?
He didn't miss a day. Before we got ready to go to bed, or at least every other day, he would call and made sure he put something on our mind to think about. He used to read the dictionary back and forth. So growing up, he would make me write letters to him. He'd correct those letters. He'd send it back. I had to write the new letter and the corrected letter. You know what I mean?
Is that right?
Yes. And he did not play about that. Sometimes I had to tell him on TV. I always found that joke when somebody was locked up, like, man, you can't get mad at me. What you gonna do? Mail me a whooping? You know what I'm saying? So I asked him that. What you gonna do? Whoop my ass over the phone? You know? So it was fun. But yes, he kept us on track through the phone. And the best part of that is me not giving up and just saying, oh, I don't need no relationship with him. You know, he went to prison years ago. He can't help me with nothing. So it was just nice to have that have the heart to forgive him for what it was, that whatever he did to get where he at, I forgave him for it, and I let him be that father that he always wanted to be while in prison.
How old were you when he got incarcerated?
Yeah, he went in there in '88, and I was born in '88. So,
really? So you never had him in the house?
Never had him in the household.
He was in the whole time?
The whole time. And if he was in the household for a couple of days, I do not remember it. But yes, 100%.
Right. And then I think it was cancer, wasn't it, that he passed from?
Yeah, so when he ended up passing away, they said it was his small intestines ruptured, causing his body to become septic.
Okay.
That's what they told us. And, we tried to do like the autopsy or whatnot, but we didn't get it back right away, and you could tell they was kind of hiding it. How it kind of fell out is my mom had a vision one day, and she was like, man, I just had a vision of your dad being bent over, being beaten on by security guards with a baton, whatever. I'm like, whoo. I'm like, yeah, really?
Really?
Then 48 hours later, we got a phone call from the prison that said, you got a day to get here if you want to see him. Otherwise, he'll be deceased. And I was like, oh. So we had to rent a vehicle, and we drove down to Midland, Texas, and pulled up to the prison. Took us about 17 hours, and we sat there for 30, 40 minutes. And then they said, follow us to the hospital. So then we got in the car and followed a couple of guards over to the hospital, and there he was on the breathing machine, laid up with like 30 guards in the hospital room. And that right there, I almost like ticked and just went crazy. Like, what the hell y'all got going on? But then I, again, reverted back to my earlier life when they said, oh, you're going to be just like such and such, or you ain't going to be nothing. You got to find a positive within this, right? And to be like, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm in a room full of 30 guards with my dying dad on the bed and my older sister sitting here. I got to kind of be a leader for her because she was older than me. So she had a few years with him before he went to prison. And I'm like, she a little closer. So I had to be an example for her and not really lose it. And sat there and we took it on the chin. I put a What Would Jesus Do wristband on him when we first got there. Then the next day when we came in, it was gone. And they was like, oh, get here early. I'm like, well, what happened to it? They took it off. But all in all, I took it as a lot of motivation. He was in prison my whole life. We was able to bring his body back here in Marion. So I used to jog there to help lose my weight at the beginning. So it was nice to go have a talk with him that wasn't on the phone. So it was great to have him. To me, I call it person to person. He might have been in the ground, but to this day, I still might go over there for 20 minutes and talk to him.
Good for you.
Yep, get something off my chest.
I remember the services on Old Marion Road.
Yes, 100%.
I would drive by that building every day and I drop off
That's right,
days at Harding,
And all you guys came, and that's another thing, this company definitely supported me within that. And it was tough being that young, having to pay for a funeral. Almost wanted to just cremate him. But I was like, nah, this man been locked up for 27 years. I got to give him some kind of home going.
Yeah.
So I paid with it most out of my pocket. And had a little help from McGrath family, and thank God we was able to give him a proper burial.
That was great service.
Yes. Oh yeah,
I remember
100% it was. Best service I ever been to.
I still remember that preacher. He was getting it.
He was good, yep.
He was
Alicia Monet
great
sung
energy.
there.
What's that?
Alicia Monet sung, Take Me to the King.
Yeah.
She going to be famous one day, and I told her that's the thing that I'm going to live by. You sung at my pop's funeral.
She was amazing.
That's right, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you graduate Augsburg, and that's where you come back to Cedar Rapids, and you start looking for jobs.
Yep.
And you read the paper, and it was in the paper?
Yes, it was in the paper. Pat McGrath hiring, and I was just like, whew, this might be it for me because I'm 0 for 10, you know what I mean? So I had to go ahead and apply, and thank God they let me in. Y'all did it for me. Y'all changed my life 12 years ago. So.
And Pat, my dad, he coached O-line, and I think he helped a little bit in the D-line.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he would have coached through your senior year.
100%.
And then Mike came in
and
took his role when my dad stepped out. But
oh, yeah.
You would have gotten to know Pat during that time because you played
awesome.
O-line, D-line.
100%.
Yep.
My best memories is we'll be doing a drill or something, and Pat would come up. And, you know, can't nobody jam like Pat. I don't give a how strong you think he was. Jeremy Robinson couldn't do a hard jammer than Pat, you know. So he'd come up and he'd be like, you know, he'd play with everybody. Then every time he'd get to me, he let out a big old fart. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. Like he got me like, Pat, I really ain't jamming with you. But I tell you what, he just made, he'd lighten up practice every time. So I don't know what people would do without Pat. I don't know what I'd do without him in high school. I don't know what I would have did without him these last 13 years. So I feel like I am truly a part of y'all family. So
you are.
Thanks for letting me work here.
And
how many
you FaceTime him every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, 100%. With the pick of my head and
I've been with him before. He's like, look, Everett's FaceTiming me.
That's my dog, yes. Thank God.
Yeah, that's great. And so speaking of your 13 years, kind of what surprised you, overall feelings about the car business? Obviously, you come into it, there are preconceived notions about the car business, how things go. What surprised you when you got into it? And then reflecting back on your 13 years, kind of your highlights.
So I think the most surprising thing was, of course, when you go apply somewhere, every job is going to teach you everything you need to know about the position. Otherwise, they wouldn't hire you for that position. And at that time, though, I didn't think like that. I'm like, man, I'm about to go into this. I don't know nothing about a car. Couldn't tell you 10 brands before I came in, or, you know. But now, so the most surprising thing is the fact that I'm still here. And y'all put up with me after the first 2 or 3 years. And I remember getting put in timeout sometimes. Like, Everett, what'd you just say? Go sit again in that corner. And I'd be like, man, I ain't going to be here next year. I'll take this on the chin. But thank God, I made it through. So that's the most surprising part. I love dealing with new people every day. You always get the opportunity to make a first impression on somebody. And then you have people that come in looking for cars that know exactly what they want, got 80 grand to throw away on a car to get a fun car. And then you got the customers who really, 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 really need this vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They might not make it to work tomorrow. They might not be able to work at all without this vehicle.
Yep.
So when you get that real life-changing sale, that's probably the most, I love it. It just lights my soul on fire. Yep. And everybody's like, oh yeah, I know it took me 8 hours to get approved or whatever. Hey, that's the best ones. Yep. I will eat those 8 hours up every day working with somebody who really need a car versus somebody coming in here who can buy 10 different cars and it don't matter, which I still treat them all the same, but I won't take away none of them. Yep. I love them for that.
Is there anyone over the 13 years that stands out as like your one you felt best about? Without you don't have to say names, but just
yes. Okay, I had a customer come in and the weirdest car ever. It was an orange HHR, and it was a lot of people just don't like HHRs. It's like, what the heck is this? But this lady ran into the door. This was when I was at Marion, so it was within the first couple years.
Yeah. She
ran into the door and she goes, hey, can somebody help me? I was like, whoa, first I thought something was wrong. I'm like, heck yeah, what's wrong?
Yeah.
My dream car is out here on this lot. And I'm like, oh, well, heck yeah, I'll help you. And she got dropped off. So someone getting dropped off saying my dream car is out here on the lot. Can you help me? Half of the people probably wanted to run away from her, like, oh, we ain't helping you. But I was just like, heck yeah. Then her daughter came in behind her and said, Mom, did you get it? And we ain't even finished talking yet. But yeah, they wanted this HHR. It was like a 2006 and only had like 50-some thousand miles, surprisingly. But they loved it. And when I say they were the happiest two individuals I ever met in my life, it made me feel so good. And I was like, okay, that's why I do this job, I want to be a motivational speaker for the youth one day. So when you do stuff like that, you already feel like you being that motivational speaker. Yeah. You just help them through this sale, and they feeling great, and I felt even better. So, yes, that was amazing. Probably the most favorite.
Marion, then you were at Westdale for a while, obviously, until we closed that store. So you started over here at Chevy in January. Yeah, would have been January.
Yeah, okay.
Of the year ago.
Yep.
Westdale created some stories.
Yes. Westdale was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like, I'd be sitting there and you'd have 5 or 6 people walking in asking for Everett. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I'm ready to help them all. So I'd be working deals all day, and we get half of them almost every day. And it was just great meeting those new people coming in. And Westdale was out on the outskirts, so we just made sure we held up McGrath's name and took care of everybody over on the west side. That's right. Yes.
And that customer base you still get people that wait for you, don't they? They'll just wait in the lounge and somebody else help you out? No, I'm going to wait for you.
That's right, yeah. And when I think about that, and it's like, why the heck does these customers want to wait on me, instead of working with somebody else who's there and ready? It's like the experience is everything, and when you can make somebody feel good about coming to buy a car, then you're doing something right, because don't too many people coming to buy cars. Right. So when they look forward to that moment and won't work with nobody else and it's only you going to make their day feel good, you better bust your butt to do everything for them. I don't care how long it takes. You better make it work.
You're doing an amazing job of that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Amazing job. What do you think the next, just general car business in general? Anything in the next 5-10 years that you see coming down the pipe, anything that you feel we can do better as a organization or just as a industry,
Yep.
to adapt to the times,
Yeah. And, a lot of things are changing, and I just think one thing I think the car business can do in general is the salespeople. I think the salespeople need to, as good as we treat all of our customers and we put our all into it, I think we need to start looking at each other in the same aspect and be there for the other salesperson. You know what I'm saying? Because being a top salesman, sometimes you feel like, a couple of your coworkers may be out to get you. They wanna beat you. They wanna sell that next car before you do, or they hope your car deal don't go as great so they can climb that chart and be at 20 cars with you while you sitting there struggling to get to 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think if everybody just really took it amongst themselves to help out the next salesperson and act like their car deals are yours. And I know it's tough because we all ain't making the same paycheck and we all got to pay our own bills. But if you put a little bit more effort into helping somebody else, I think they're going to put more effort into helping you. And so therefore your deals will be protected well round. When your customers come in there, they'll see that everybody is family. You know what I'm saying? And I think
that's a great way to put it.
That positive energy just rubs off.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to be more, I'm going to try to be better at that myself and help others a little bit more, sacrifice a deal or two if I have to a month. Oh, well, you can have that deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just make them feel good and know that we here for them and not just for ourselves.
That's great. That's good perspective. And also I see that you have your BBB shirt on.
Yes.
Yep. We had our banquet, and I talked about it last week in our episode 9 and what BBB is. But it's good to show everybody what that shirt's got. The shamrock.
Yep. And it's nice. Like you say, people come in and you just be standing out where everybody be like, "What's that BBB? This leprechaun for?" And you know me, I always say, "Big Black Brother." You know what I'm saying? And everybody be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good one." And then I break it down for them, big as bad as best. And so it's a great it's a great thing to have and just be a conversation starter when customers come in as well. So we appreciate these shirts.
And you get a you got a jacket too.
Heck yeah, we got a jacket as well. And then it's always cool because they let you personalize them.
Yeah.
So I love putting like my kids' names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's fun, 100%.
That's awesome, man. We've got an amazing story. One thing we're kicking off a new segment, which is some reactions to videos. So I'm gonna pull up this laptop. We're gonna have some fun here. This will be the first time. I haven't seen these videos myself. You haven't either, obviously. All right, so basically, I haven't seen these videos. Have you seen like Mr. Beast do this? There are different people that do. They watch a video and they just have a reaction. I have no idea what's coming. Is this appropriate, Zach?
Yeah, they're good.
They're appropriate?
Brad vetted them to make
We'll
sure.
find out, won't we?
We'll find out.
Let's go.
Let's check this out. This lady, okay, so it says this lady literally just drove this to Quick Start. I am dying, LOL. There's a toy car. Let's check this out. This lady did not drive this to Quick Start. It's a Jeep.
It's a Jeep.
Pink and purple Jeep. She did not drive this.
No. And she's hanging out the top of it.
She's got a mask on.
She's got a mask.
Driving the Jeep.
Oh my Lord. Burning out, backing up.
She's actually driving that thing on the road. Come on now. That's funny, man. What's this? All right, we're going to keep going.
Let's keep
This is called I Am Pregnant. Saying I'm pregnant, then leaving the car.
So I just found out I'm pregnant, so.
Wait, what? No, Ken! Ken! No, get!
Husband about to flip.
No.
Hell yeah.
Caitlin done that to you before? I'm pregnant, get out, and then you're gone.
After the 5 times, you think we've been through one of those.
You're pregnant, Mira? Oh my God, yes!
Oh, that's funny.
He stayed in there. I would have left out the car with her.
That's good stuff. All right, let's check out these.
Talking to little Johnny.
Honking at green light, gone wrong. All right, what we got here? Uh-oh.
Nice.
Somebody can get it come out with
it's
be
not-
pissed off.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh, look, there's a WRX to the right. Dude.
Oh, it's sick.
Side turn green. Honking. Boom! Oh, no.
Why'd you stop?
We'll be selling 2 new cars.
Bumpers pushed in. Oh! Good Lord. This
Tire
cat's
though.
driving with no tire on his front left wheel, and it's burning, obviously, the sparks, fire. This guy, he doesn't even know it.
Oh yeah, he's on fire.
How do you not recognize that you have a no tire?
He's still
God
driving. How do
dang.
you not pull over? Riding on the rim.
That's good, man. All right, one more. Let's do one more. Check your mirrors. All right. Didn't know I had to look both ways before grabbing a snack. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh, and they're still going. What are they doing?
Lights flash.
Get out.
See a lot of brake lights, but he hitting everything.
Oh, no. Now they're burning out because they're... Oh, God. Oh, and they freaking went through the front door. Ooh.
So you should have looked both ways.
Oh, no.
Through the store.
That reminds me of a story. I don't think you were at probably Westdale at the time, but did you hear about the guy that accidentally, you hear stories about people driving their cars intentionally through showrooms, which I've seen online, but we had a guy accidentally think that he was in reverse. He's parked up, parked up right to the west of the Chevy New Car Tower. And he just bought a big 2500 Ram pickup. Thought he was in reverse, hit the gas, and then like thought he was hitting the brake. Well, he hit the gas harder and just drove that thing, blasted. Yeah, didn't like go all the way through, but he's thankfully was able to brake enough once it hits like the wall. Thankfully, Andy Burns at the time was in the New Car Tower. His seat was right there. His desk was right there at that corner where it had been. He had just gotten up to go walk and pull a key out of the key track. And then boom, and it shifted the entire bubble. They had to do, Renternet came in and fixed it up. But
That customer in his car was showroom ready.
So fast forward. Okay, so this would have been probably, when was the flood scare of, was like in 16, when there was a big scare again, right? Where they put all those HESCO barriers along the river. So we were down, I was with a few people, we went down to help sandbag, right? So we load up a truck, we go start sandbagging, and we're just going house to house on the west side of town. And we pull up, and this guy was the house that we were sandbagging. He comes outside. I recognized the Ram truck. I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, he remembered me because I talked to him, make sure he's okay after everything. And so we came back. We were sandbagging his house because he just lived right by the river.
Get out of here.
But
Saved his car again.
yeah. Thankfully, that was more of a scare than I think anything. I think there were still some things that certainly happened there. But, well, good stuff. All right. What is your favorite time of the day and why?
Probably in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I get to leave my house in the chaos and go to the gym and come back to Caitlin getting all the kids ready and see what kind of mistakes or what ifs they didn't came up with when I walk back home.
Get your gym time in, work out, love it, man.
That's right. That's probably my favorite. Let's see what we got. Cheat. All right, Gabby. Would you rather drive a car that's haunted or one that always smells like rotten garbage?
Haunted. I'm a big sensory guy. Smell is a big thing to me. I could not drive in a vehicle. I deal with a ghost every once in a while.
All day. At least
Over
the
a
ghost,
stinky
at least
car.
the ghosts smell good.
It's a good one. All right. If you were a bumper sticker, what would you say?
Don't hit me. That's it. That's it. Been hit enough. Do not hit me.
That's a good one, Ev.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've witnessed in a dealership lobby?
That I just told the truck story, but the one that tops that would be out at Westdale. So we had a customer that came into Westdale, bought a vehicle, and when they were they came in a second time to wrap up the deal, sign paperwork, things like that. Well, when they get in the second time, I get a salesperson comes up into the bubble, this Richie and I. It's like, hey, there are 3 guys here, and they're about to fight this customer. All right, we'll just call him Jimmy. They're about to fight Jimmy in the showroom. I'm like, really? We get up, go out there. And these guys were yelling at each other. And there were 3 big dudes, and Jimmy was not a big person. And he was about to get his ass whooped right in our showroom at Westdale. So like, guys, time out. I don't know what we got going, but let's not do that here. So they were respectful. They're like, we'll leave. They step outside. Jimmy goes to follow him out the door, and I was like, no, close the door, pull him back by his sweatshirt. What are you doing? You're going to get your ass whooped right in our parking lot. Just let him leave. You go handle your business elsewhere. So he told me later, he's like, Gav, I'm sorry. He goes, I smoke weed, and I owe these guys a little bit of money for my weed, and I've been avoiding them. And so they found out he was coming to Westdale to beat him up. That was the most insane thing that's happened in the showroom. And we had salespersons. I remember a guy named Jake Thomas. He's hiding underneath the desk because they were loud. I mean, they were going to whoop his ass in our showroom.
Say before he buy this car, he better pay for his weed.
I like, anyway.
That's a good one.
Yep, that would be the wildest thing that happened in the lobby.
That's a good one.
Who's your dream passenger for a long road trip, dead or alive?
Woo-wee. Man, I mean, I'm a Kobe fanatic, so I love to take a car ride with Kobe.
Kobe Bryant.
Could be a helicopter, though.
No.
I love you to death, Kobe, but you're not getting me in a helicopter.
Kobe, that's a good one, man. It's good.
All righty, here we go. Best story from when you sold a car to someone.
Oh, my gosh. Like, my mind goes, do I go like where we had to repo a car route, or do we go we go spicy, or we go I'm trying to think.
I like spicy. I'll tell one.
We'll go for it. Yeah.
I think I have a grower. It was at Westdale. Me and Andrew Miller, we sold a customer vehicle, and the customer needs to bring us pay stub. They're doing everything to avoid bringing us this pay stub. So at this point, there's signed paperwork. They gave us cash down. everything. But Andrew's like, you know what? Ever think we need to go to West Del Ports and get this car back because we're not getting answers. I'm like, I don't know, Andrew. It seems like it's gonna come through. Andrew's like, no, Aaron, we gotta go get this car. I'm not. Gavin's gonna kick my butt if we don't have this car here. You know, so I'm like, all right, cool. And then once you say that, I'm like, let's go. So we jump in the car. We go over to West Del Ports. Nobody answers. The car is sitting outside. They had us keep the spare key until they came. So, you know, me and Andrew, we grabbed a spare key. We started up the car. We're taking it. As we pulling off, her and another person, maybe her brother, we thought was at the top. They rolled past us. So now we just speeding back to the dealership. We was like, bring the pay stub, you know. So she comes back with the pay stub and her lawyer. That was her lawyer with her in the car. So we had to let him, she was like, she already paying everything for this car. Then the lawyer was like, well, why don't you have it? He was like, the lady just has to give us a pay stub.
That's it.
That's it. And went outside and got the pay stub.
And it worked out.
And it worked out great.
That's a great story.
But it was great, though, because we took it and we thought we was about to get in trouble when they saw us catching it. We were gone. Yeah. That was funny.
That's a good one, man. Yeah, my brain goes, I don't know why I default to like the drama. Because there are so many great stories of people that you help out. And I remember my first car deal I was selling. I sold like the summers in college. I would drive up. I was in Iowa playing football, drive up after workouts and sell. And I was selling for Tammy Roberts in the subprime department of Chevy Used. And so there were a lot of fun, awesome car deals there. I do remember probably like 10 years ago when somebody committed identity theft, and this person they were like a professional. And so we delivered this Dodge Challenger out west, and we sold them a new Challenger. We delivered out to them. Well, it was total identity theft. And so I just remember being an 8-month process to prosecute this person. Then you have the person that they stole their identity. You have to clean that up. You have to work with the credit reporting agencies, things like that, to clean up everything off of there. That was a mess. But we got the car back. It was a Dodge Challenger. I remember we got it back, and then it was a while to clean up all the titling and stuff. We had to wait like a year. But I don't know why my brain goes like those hard deals, that stick out.
It's a tough one.
But identity theft is something we've got a lot of processes in place now to prevent that and things, and it's a lot better situation now. But yeah, that was a tough one to deal with. I remember I was a young general sales manager at the Dodge store, like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Once you find out, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, a lot of fun stories there. But I tell you, man, I just can't thank you enough for spending time with me and all you do, because you're an amazing human being, leader, friend, as I mentioned at first. So what else, man? Anything?
That's it, man. I appreciate you for taking the time to have me here and let me talk to you about my stories.
Oh, love it. Amazing guy. So thanks, and thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.